right.
Good to go?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I hear you guys are all juniors, so the next step is your senior year. Just want to introduce myself. My name is Ralph Degli III. I work for Ralph G. Degli and Sons. We are a mechanical contracting business, a company in Delaware. We focus on plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Our company was started in 1969 by my grandfather, and we are a family-run business. I have 5 uncles in the business and 3 cousins working for the company. So I'm considered the 3rd generation of the company, which is, hard to get to the 3rd generation a lot of times. A lot of companies fail when they go to the 3rd generation. So I just want to start off and give you a little background on myself. So I started working with the company when I was around 12 years old. I would come in the summers, and me and my cousin, we would paint, clean up, organize. So that's how I really got involved with the company. And then I graduated high school in 1997, and I went on to college. I went to University of Delaware, and I earned a bachelor's degree in business. So at that point, when I finished college, I knew that I wanted to work for the family business. And I started off in the office, and I was handling like the accounts receivable, doing payroll. And I'm 21 years old, sitting at a desk, and I said, this isn't for me right now. So that's when I decided to learn the business from ground up. So I decided to go on and do my apprenticeship. So I did my 4-year apprenticeship, and then I became a journeyman. So at that point, when I finished my apprenticeship and became a journeyman, I went right into running work. I was a foreman for Degli, and I ran jobs that were handled 2 guys to jobs that handled 60 guys. The last job I just did was the Christiana Hospital, the Women's and Infants building. It was a 7-story building, 180 rooms, and at peak, I had to handle 60 guys. I had to get material for them, make sure they were, had all their drawings in a new direction. So it was a pretty intense job. After that job, which was ended last April, I got a little promotion, and now I am a outside superintendent for the company. So what I do now is I'm the middleman between the office and the field personnel. My day usually starts out at 7. I start out in the office 7 o'clock. I answer emails. I talk to my foreman, and I kind of just get the day started for everybody. Then I venture out and I hit multiple jobs, interact with the foreman, the men, and the superintendent to make sure everything is just working, working smooth for everybody, and that we're getting the job done. Then usually I report back to the office by the end of the day. I communicate with the project managers in the office and make sure, everything's just working smooth. So, like I said, I was a foreman at one time running 1 job. Now this position here, I have 14 jobs I look after. I'm not there all day, but 14 jobs, 60 men, it gets a little crazy. I'm basically like answering phone calls, and I'm a problem solver, basically. My most recent achievement was I passed my master plumbing license, 100-question exam. It was a 4-hour exam, and it took me all 4 hours. It was a bear. So now that you guys know a little about myself, let me just jump into what the life is like for a plumber or pipe fitter. So typically, you start out as an apprentice. You do the apprenticeship program 2 nights a week, and you're working 40 hours a week. But when you're doing your 4 years, that's where you learn so much information. You're working with the mechanic hand in hand, and you got to soak in all the skills that they teach you. You're going to work with multiple mechanics, so each guy's going to teach you a different little aspect of the job, and you got to soak it all in and just use it later when you become a journeyman and you're working by yourself or you're teaching an apprentice. So typically your day starts 7 o'clock, 7 to 3:30. My suggestion, though, don't show up at 7. You want to be there 6:45 on the job at the latest, ready to work, tools in hand, meet your foreman. He'll give you direction for the day, but that's the biggest thing on these jobs. You got guys showing up late, you guys calling out, and that just really messes up the whole job itself, the foreman's prepared and he has a task for you, and if you show up late or don't come in, it just messes up his whole day. So 7 o'clock you start work. Break, we usually have break like 9:30, 9:45, 15-minute break. That's where you get to sit down and kind of regroup for a minute, and then you get back to work till about 12 o'clock. 12 to 12:30 is your lunch break, and then you finish your day from 12:30 to 3:30. What else? Some days you might have to work late. Your foreman, you might be in a pinch and you might have to work late. You might have to work Saturdays. But we do try to keep it a 40-hour work week because everyone needs a rest and wants to be able to go home and enjoy their family. As you're going through the trade, you're going to learn, you're going to gain, skills and certificates. And, I think there's a list of them. We got Osha certifications. Safety's the big thing. You're going to have a bag full of safety certifications by the time you're done your apprenticeship. And even as you're going through your journeyman. One big thing is some guys might get out there. You can become an operator, a machine operator, or a gradle operator. Out in the job site, we always need them guys. So that's just you might get out there and you say, you know what, I want to run a piece of equipment. We'll get you certified. And it's just another thing you have in your bag. You finish your apprenticeship, become a journeyman. You might become a foreman. There's always room for advancement in the company. One thing advice I would give people is the show up on time thing. Show up every day, and you got to take pride in your work. This is your job. This is the path you chose. So when you're out there, give it 100%. You don't be on your phone. Just dedicate your 8 hours to the job site, and your day will go by, your weeks will go by, and it makes everything run smooth for you. Anything you guys got for me? You want to answer any questions? I mean, I can go into some other details if you give me some questions.
Hey, Ralph, one thing I want to check with you on, one of the biggest things we talk about around here in every one of our career areas, not just plumbing, but what we call employability skills and what a lot of times in the field we refer to as work ethic. So in your mind, coming up in a leadership role within your company and a lot of experience throughout construction, what to an administrator, to a leader, a foreman out there, supervisor, what does a strong work ethic mean to you? What are you looking for in your guys?
What I'm looking for is I give a guy directions on what to do, and I don't have to come back and babysit the guy. You know what I mean? I give him a job. He follows through with his task. He gets it done efficiently and, does it to the best of his ability. Works hard, doesn't go try to hide around a corner. And you see guys in the job sites that spend more time trying to hide than work. And it's just, that's not the way. You got to you're there to work. Just give it all of that when you're there that day. And, just be efficient with your job. If you're running low on material, tell your guys, tell your foreman, hey, we're down to a couple fittings here. You might want to think about ordering it. A lot of guys they'll run you dry of material. And next thing you know, that's just an excuse for them not to work. You know what I mean? They run out of material. Now they can dog it for the next couple hours or whatever. So, just show up on time and just be, punctual. That's what I like to see on guys.
Yeah, a lot of our juniors are getting ready to go out to co-op, and I tell all of our juniors, look, we've all been in the trade long enough. I came from masonry. You're in plumbing, Mr. Gold's in plumbing, Mr. Pendergast in plumbing, but whatever the career field is, we've seen all the little tricks of the trade of spending 20 minutes in the porta potty, or hey, I send you out to the truck and what should take you 2 minutes to turn around, you're going for 10 or 15 minutes. And, you're hiding around the corner or inside a cabinet pretending to be doing something just so you can be on your phone.
Yeah.
Those are the people doing those kind of things that you want to avoid, because they're people who are going to drag you down. They're the people not working their way up through the ranks. They're never going to get in that leadership role.
Yes, I mean that's what your goal is. You make money. You want to make money, and the way to make money in a company is to prove yourself, and you just keep moving up. We see the guys that don't prove themselves. The guys that prove themselves, they move right up the ladder.
And if you're a student where you don't have aspirations to be in a leadership role, that's okay. That still mean still working hard and all that doesn't necessarily mean that you got to be a supervisor or in a leadership role. But being that mechanic who does work hard and who does have that strong work ethic, you're going to have the higher hourly wages. You're going to get the better jobs. When those prevailing wage jobs come along, you're
Ah,
going to be the one who gets picked up for those. So it opens more doors and opportunities for you. So those are,
exactly.
make sure you're listening to to what Mr. Degli Obizzi is saying here in terms of work ethic and employability, because that's how you're going to be successful.
Now, as an apprentice, so when you're an apprentice, you're working with a mechanic. You should be thinking 2 steps ahead of that mechanic. If he's getting ready to solder a piece of pipe, you should be handing the sandcloth, or you should already have the fittings clean for him, handing him the solder. 1 step ahead of him the whole time. That just keeps. He sees that, and he's like, "Man, this kid is going to, be good when he gets, starts coming through the trade here."
So something that these guys might be thinking of, and obviously everybody's in a weird position right now with COVID. Things
Sure.
got shut down and slowed down, and we're in a bad spot because a lot of these students are getting ready to enter into their senior year, and they've only had maybe a third of the technical training, hands-on time in the classroom that they would normally have at this point. So they're probably not feeling real confident in their skills, especially when they go out and they're going to be working with a mechanic who does this full time. Well, I know you say you want me to hand him the sanding cloth or have the fittings prep, but what if that's not what he wants? What if I'm making a bad decision? I make a mistake right there. What do you say to that student who's maybe afraid of making a mistake out there? I'm trying to be proactive and be motivated, but I don't want to make the wrong decision because I'm not confident in my skills because I really haven't had the same hands-on time that I normally would. What kind of advice could you give them on that?
You know, my advice to them: ask questions. No questions is stupid. You ask the question, the mechanic will give you the answer. Our mechanics are pretty good with the apprentices. They want them to learn because they know as they get older, someone else needs to step in and take the role. So, you know, just got to be open minded, and you can't be afraid to ask the question. If you are, maybe you got to go to the foreman and just be behind closed doors and be like, look, I'm a little behind here, and I'm a little afraid to ask the question. And it'll get done. These guys they're good out there. They'll work with everybody because they know how it is. They were in the same situation these kids might be.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I know there's a level of nervousness about going out. Understand that Degli Obizzi, all of our contractors, no matter where you go for co-op, to understand that you're still in a training program. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you're there because you do want to learn. It's no advantage to them to have you come out and they give you that old school mentality of almost like a hazing of, well, I came up hard knocks, you got to come up hard knocks. We're going to drive you out of our trade. You're the future of our industries, and we got to train you and teach you. And so that's the idea behind our training program. That's what you're going to get going out in that co-op world. So that's what you should be prepared for. Don't be so nervous about coming out there and not being able to meet expectations, but instead go out there and learn something and provide something to the company at the same time. Any students have any questions, or our instructors, feel free. You can raise your hand. You can unmute. You can call them out, or else I have the chat open. Feel free to type it into the chat, and I can read it out of there. If you don't even want to have your name tied to it, you can send me a private message in the chat, and I'll read it for you. So if there's any questions, go ahead and unmute or raise your hand, type in the chat, fire away. Brett, Dave, you guys have anything to add?
I think all the points were hit pretty good. Yeah, like Ralph was saying, I think the biggest thing is showing up. You got to show up to do work. No contractor wants to pay you if you're not going to show up. And don't just show up at 7:00. Be there at 6:45. Be there early. That's huge. Being at work early.
Everyone's going to have an issue where something comes up.
Yeah.
We got technology these days. You just send a text message. Hey, I'm running a couple minutes late. Sorry. It happens. It's part of life.
Yeah.
It just can't happen every single week.
Right. You got your guys that do that every week. There's a guy with our company that every week, he's going to text you on a Monday or a Friday after he gets his paycheck. And, that kind of guy there is expendable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Make yourself valuable.
Exactly.
I'm trying to get they're sitting right out here. I'm trying to get them to ask some questions, but they're shy.
That's all right.
That's good.
All right, man. Ralph did a good job. He hit a lot
man.
of points in here. So, the big thing, guys, is show up, be motivated, put those phones in your car, in your pocket. Don't pull them out. Earbuds, don't have those in. I get it. You're working by yourself, whatever, but the problem is you have to be able to hear what's going on around you on the job site. Somebody's trying to get your attention. There's a backup alarm on a piece of equipment. You have to know what's going on. Maybe somebody 3 rooms over screaming because they just cut their finger off and they need you to come grab them. You got earbuds in, you can't hear any of that. It's not that we want to be tough on you, we want work to be miserable, but we got to be safe and there's an expectation. Can't be on the phone, can't have the earbuds in. Never, never, never be standing around. You should always be actively working. If you don't know what to do next, then just like Ralph said, just ask. Somebody will give you something to do. There's always trash to be cleaned up, tools to be put away, organization needs to happen, material needs to be prepped. There's always things that keep you busy on a job site. You should never be standing around. If you can do those are all things that take no skill whatsoever. You didn't need hands-on time in our shop to be able to pull that skill set together. All you got to do is make the decision to go out there and work hard and do a good job, and you're going to be able to make those big bucks in no time at all. I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see any hands up, and I don't want to eat up too much time. So, if you have a question, now's your chance. Otherwise, Ralph, I'd like to thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Time out of your busy schedule to meet with us, and hopefully you'll see some of these guys out there on some of your job sites here soon.
Yeah, it'd be great. And again, I mean, I don't know if you guys do the co-op program, but we do. We had one recently that just finished up with us, and now he's signing up with our company as an apprentice. Great kid. He did a heck of a job during his co-op time, and now he's an employee with us. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking for. Those kind of not just a job, but a career. We send you out for a co-op job that leads into that full-time opportunity for you, where you find a home and you fit in. So that's
exactly
what we like to hear. Thanks again, Ralph. We appreciate
All right, thank you,
Ralph.
All right, have a good one.
Take care.
See you, Brett.
Yeah, thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ralph.
Later.